Okay, I'm gonna see this matchup real quick. I think this matchup really favors Berbers
Okay.
for the fact that well actually I'm gonna ask you before you start this game, what do you think about the matchups? And also what are you aiming to accomplish?
I think Berbers versus students. I feel it as like if I play to Berber strength, which is like camels or heavy knight play, Teutons kind of like equal in that regard. But I think I should still be able to beat them with camels. So I think I wanted to open up scouts because the scouts would be the same kind of I think, and then just go into like either like a boom or two. I think long term camel archers is the best, but I can't remember. Or they had no. I think I wanted to do long term like cav or something because they don't get no halberdiers or nothing, right?
So my point of view is that you have to first think about the civilizations and think about the game plan. Like I think that you have to recognize first thing in anything regarding the game plan is knowing which civilization actually has the late game advantage. You have the late game advantage in Arabia.
Okay.
Because you have Hussars and you
Okay.
as the Berbers player with camel archers, your gold units is the range one, which means that you can always conserve the gold units.
Okay.
And therefore, you have the better late game, if that makes sense.
No,
Because
it does.
like Teutons, if against Teutons, what they have would be like I don't know, Halp and Siege, for example. And that combo is obviously very hard to beat, but because you're playing Arabia right now, you have the mobility, and you can forever trade well with camel archers and hussars, and because hussars are just the best late game unit, so you know that you have the late game advantage. Just first off the bat, you know that, and therefore you can always play until the game becomes a late game. If that makes sense, your game plan can always revolve around you going into late game.
Okay.
Does
So
this
I
make sense?
so, yeah, no, that makes sense hearing it. But I think about late game, I guess, more from like my arena background and learning from arena, whereas Teutons are such a good arena civ and they're such a good like boom civ and stuff like that. And I do know Berbers play really well with an all-in castle age. So I mean, when I think about this matchup, I think like a heavy castle play and not letting Teutons boom. But what you're saying makes more sense, right?
This is where I have the complete opposite view.
Right.
This is where I have the complete opposite view, which is that Teutons are not good late game because of the fact that they do not have hussars. They only have halves, and they don't even have good, what's it called? What are those things called? Skirmishers.
Skirmishers.
For them to be really realistically be able to deal with camel archers. And my point of view would be that if you actually play a all-in Castle Age or a play like that, you would actually favor Teutons more.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you my logic right now here, because if you were to go scouts against scouts, right? Scouts against scouts, you're gonna be walled here, whatever. Like you're gonna be walled here. He's gonna be walled like from here to here, here to here, here to here, here. So what is realistically gonna happen? Do you remember what I talked about the gentleman's agreement?
Right. Yeah.
So then now you are going to go into knights mixed with camels because you cannot fight knights against Teutons. Why? Because Teutons have that +1 armor. And therefore, you actually cannot spam knights against Teutons because if the Teutons play properly, you should not be able to do anything. And also the fact is Teutons have actually the better eco with their cheaper farms.
Right.
And therefore, if you were to go all in against all in, they also have, you have to remember what Teutons have here. Would be that Teutons have
The resistant.
1 second.
The
Barracks
extra
unit
armor.
+1 armor also. So then their pikeman is also stronger. And therefore, when you go all in knights, I'm not saying it won't work at all, but I'm just saying when you go all in knights against Teutons, it is a play that I believe should be very difficult for you to execute because of the fact that he can convert your knights while you cannot convert his. So then my point of view would always be that the gentleman's agreement should be the thing that is aimed for, and therefore you should be content with it. You should be very content if there is a gentleman's agreement because of the fact that you have to better late game.
Okay. So
does that,
no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Complete sense. One Well, another thing I've been trying to do is look at my map and consider my opening based on that. So I picked Berbers versus Teutons because I assumed I might have went Scouts into Knights in this matchup, and that's what we coached on last time. But I don't know if I did because I've been trying to practice a lot of like Drushes or Man-at-Arm openings based on my map.
Yeah, but now that we have that difference in
thought.
game plan that we thought about, we're gonna go into the game. Okay. I'm not gonna like talk about build orders that much because I feel like build orders is just something that you have to practice yourself. Basically,
right?
I believe it's just something that you just have to know that you need to practice yourself, and the fact that you can look at it yourself. And I think your build order is very solid too. From the last time I remember, your build order is quite solid. Okay, you're pushing in deers now. All right, we'll see. Good push. I mean, I think overall your build order is quite good for now. I would try to chop these 2 trees, by the way.
Yeah, I typically try to, but I think since I was pushing a deer, I couldn't. I seem to have gotten really greedy.
Yeah, this is okay. This is fine. I don't think that this is too bad. I mean, except for the board, but it's okay. I don't like the delayed mill too much, personally. Okay. I don't like the delayed mill too much, and also you're not putting in enough villagers on mill right now. I think following a basic build order where you are, because considering the fact that when you delay the mill like that, you're usually trying to go 20 pop or even 19 pop scouts, but you didn't do that because your board was outside already. So therefore, you might as well just make it more efficient under a TC. I believe that when you do this, you're not gonna have a sheep, even though you push 2 deers. You're not gonna have a sheep under your TC by when you hit Feudal Age. Okay. Let's see if I'm correct or not. I believe that was gonna happen. So now you see this barracks. And also, with scouting information, did you check this gold by any chance?
Yeah, I think it. Well, I might not have. I might not have clicked it.
Okay.
But
again,
I think I.
One of the.
Yeah, one of the things.
One of the things that we talk about is that in reality, the only thing that you really have to check to know what he's going for, usually in a game, is literally just gold.
10 gold, yeah.
10 gold.
I have been trying to do that, but I don't know if I saw that or not.
Yep. If it's 10 gold, drush. If no gold, prize scouts. If 2 on gold with a mining camp, probably Man-at-Arms. So that's like 3 main things that happens. But okay, let's continue. Well, he's drushing you now, and shouldn't do too much damage to Berbers. See that? Second thing, you wasted health here, right? Yep, you definitely wasted health here, right?
I don't think I attacked him, but I think he just hit me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Like passing through. I might have hit the TC a little bit or something. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. But yeah, okay. So this has already dealt the damage that it needs. Number 1, I think the second lumber camp should come in. And then number 2 would be the fact that you saw the barracks quite early here. And then the second thing would be the fact that when you see the berries, that's also another thing that you can check. When you see the berries, check how much food is taken. Okay. And then look back on your own berries to see how much food is taken. You kind of messed up your
mind because I did it late. Yeah.
Yep, so then you kind of mess it up, so that's like you can't really see a difference, but in reality, it should be quite different right now. You should probably take this would probably be like 20 or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And at this point, you know for a fact that this guy did a pre-mill drush. So that's how scouting, like there's just some small scouting tips. Okay. But, okay, you definitely
I think I just didn't have the wood for the second lumber camp at the time. That's why I just sent 8, or I don't know why.
I don't think you lost a single villager.
No, I think I was doing pretty good at running my low vills.
But did you see how you don't have any food under TC anymore? And now this should have actually been like better already, right? This 4 vills would still continue on working, but then if you sent them earlier, these 4 vills would continue on working anyways. But then you would actually have food under TC. Right. But now again, you lost HP on your scout. Well, that was unlucky. I don't know. Did you run to the TC? Well, that's like.
Well, I did. I think he did good. Like when I ran by his lumber camp, he punched me with vills, and then when I ran by the mill, he hit me with vills. I think he was just real heads up like that.
So these are the small plays in scouting that you have to take care of a little bit. Okay, everything so far is going pretty well. I would have to say some idle village.
At least that.
Again, do you remember how?
Well, that scout popped out at the same time. That was my idea, was to wait until both were there, and it just wasn't quick enough. I guess he did better.
Okay, I think at this point, you are not seeing. So actually, let me ask you this: at this point, what are you thinking?
Scouts aren't really going to do anything, but he's wide open. Is my idea. So, I want to put archers forward, kinda. I think like on his berries or take him off, but I don't know how. Maybe hit his wood line in his gold or like a forward tower.
So one thing that I personally think, you walled a little too early at this very moment.
Okay.
Because of the fact that you already saw the drush, you kind of cleared it out already. You don't have to wall like this because you know for a fact that it's like 12 minutes, 13 minutes, he's still up yet. He's probably doing a drush of C. At this very moment, he's probably doing a drush of C. Like, as soon as I see that, I know that I don't have to wall because all these walls, that's like, what, 20 tiles? You could have probably placed them archer range, as you said before already.
Okay.
And you see, like, that's just something that, I mean, small things, but it doesn't matter too much. You're playing the safe way, which I like, to be completely honest. I kind of do enjoy playing safer. But the thing is that I think you're prioritizing too much onto the scouts instead of your villagers, and also probably trying to get to castle age at this point.
Okay.
But at this point, you should know that unless you get the archer quicker, he messed up his builder really bad, actually. He's at, what, 13 minutes? He's 22% of fuel age. You should know that for a fact that, well, most of the time, 13 minutes, she should be up to feudal age ready, and therefore should be building archer range, and then your archer probably shouldn't do damage. So that's why I think you should focus on like doing more of the fact that you're going to be playing just a game where you're not going to be doing too much damage, but you're going to do a follow-up to Castle Age with better eco because you have Horse Collar.
Yeah,
So,
I'm remembering this game and it gets quite crazy. Okay.